Asante sana. Sonkore yuko area lakini atulize kidogo. Ndugu viongozi wote wenzangu, watu wa Mombasa, wangwana wa boda, hamjambo. Ni furaha yangu kubwa sana kurudi hapa tena Mombasa. Mnajua mambo ni mangapi? Between the 4th and the 6th of September 2023, our country will have the honor of co-hosting the Africa Climate Summit with the Africa Union Secretariat at our capital in Nairobi. During this event, African and international leadership will gather to engage in robust deliberations with a view to making significant progress in formulating just, effective, and inclusive policies to combat climate change, thereby averting a global warming apocalypse. At the summit, we shall revisit various international instruments and commitments at the multilateral level in order to reach an understanding on the best ways of rallying together under a new compact aimed at achieving effective climate action on an ambitious global scale through a combination of social justice, economic transformation, unprecedented investment in a just transition to net zero by formulating strategies for effective action and inspiring environmental and climate action leadership. Without a doubt, the time has come for Africa to add a firm, clear voice to the global climate change discourse and to provide leadership in effective climate action, as well as a new clean, green industrial revolution which delivers sustained economic transformation and shared prosperity for humanity, while facilitating the rehabilitation, recovery, resurgence, and resilience of the Earth's capacity to sustain life in its fullest diversity. As I have said before, Africa is stepping forward as a united continent and one people to lead the next phase of global development by offering its unique endowments of abundance in natural resources, youthful and highly skilled human capital, and peerless green energy potential in the service of a new industrial age. We are the young green continent of the future, and the future is here with us. Next week, we announce to the whole world an agenda for ensuring that humanity thrives in this future while securing the Earth's ability to support biodiversity. The privilege to host this momentous event underscores Kenya's well-established global green growth and climate action leadership credentials and decade-long endeavor as a champion of environmental conservation and the protection of biodiversity. Since the first decade of our independence, we have been a consistent champion of the global environmental agenda, and today, environmental diplomacy remains a critical pillar of our foreign policy. Nairobi is the host city of the only United Nations headquarters in the Global South. The United Nations Environmental Programme, the focal point of multilateral environmental policy agenda, has its home in Kenya. Kenya's leadership of the global environment sector is not accidental. Neither is it Thank you. Let me take that again. Kenya's leadership of the global environmental sector is not accidental. Neither is it restricted to the international arena. The people of Kenya are united in categorically committing in their determination to respect and sustain the environment for present and future generations. The constitutional commitment in Article 69(1)(a) mandates the state to ensure the sustainable exploitation, utilization, and management of the environment, while under Article 69(1)(g), the state is further mandated to eliminate processes and activities that are likely to endanger the environment. Further, our National Economic Development Blueprint Vision 2030 sets out Kenya's ambition to transform into a highly industrialized middle-income country, providing a high quality of life for all its citizens by 2030 in a clean and secure environment. In short, a strong commitment to the environmental sustainability as an essential feature of Kenya's national identity and a fundamental element of the National Development Agenda is firmly in our Constitution. This is why our bottom-up economic transformation agenda explicitly plugs into global environmental and climate change agenda through the bottom-up 3P agenda, which commits us to attend simultaneously to the people's well-being, the planet's ecological vibrancy, and the capacity of enterprises to generate profits sustainably. We take our commitments under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change very seriously. Therefore, we remain firmly on course to meet the pollution reduction targets under the Paris Agreement. We are also taking decisive steps in our shift to zero emissions. As pertains to the environment, climate action, and ecological responsible industrialization, Kenya is in it for Kenya, for Africa, and for the world. We are doing it for our citizens and also for humanity. For this reason, we have designed and designated a Ministry for Environment and Climate Change to undertake the National Climate Action Plan in order to facilitate the achievement of our national environmental, biodiversity, and climate change imperatives, including under our nationally determined contributions. We are committed to enhancing our climate action by adopting low-carbon and efficient transportation systems through the application of innovations, including clean, efficient, and sustainable energy technologies. The bottom-up agenda for economic transformation identifies the adoption of electric mobility, or e-mobility, as a priority intervention to achieve the win-win outcomes of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, providing cheaper transport, and leveraging our large local and regional motorcycle market to build an electric motor vehicle industry. Motorcycles comprise the fastest growing form of transport in many countries. This fact has serious implications for climate change and air quality. Our continent now faces a tremendous CO2 emissions challenge owing to its huge two-wheeler internal combustion engine powered fleet. In many African countries, the air has a particle percentage that is well above the WHO recommendations. Aging fleets and unsustainable technologies are to blame for this big hazard. Here in Kenya, 2- and 3-wheeler vehicles comprise the largest share of our national fleet at 67%. Our cities and urban areas are in danger of turning into heavily polluted and unhealthy places, placing millions of enterprising people at great risk. It has been clear for some time now that something must be done about this. And today, we are doing it. I repeat, today, we are doing something about it. The adoption of electric mobility is a high priority intervention to address the challenges of pollution, adverse health effects, and fuel costs, which raise the cost of living. Successful transition of e-mobility requires a fundamental reconfiguration of our transportation systems through electrification and the provision of every necessary service and infrastructures throughout the ecosystem. Fortunately, Kenya is well ahead in laying down the foundations of this shift. We are a global leader in the production of clean, green energy. Over 90% of the power in our national grid is generated from renewable sources, and there remains potential to produce much more in the future through wind, solar, and geothermal generation, taking our generation to 100% by 2030. In order to achieve these intended aims, transition to e-mobility therefore calls for intensive investment, which is best undertaken by the private sector. Accordingly, through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we have developed a compelling package of incentives to attract serious investors in e-mobility to stake their capital on opportunities in our green growth plan. The effort is bearing fruit. The commitment that I see here today speaks to the success of the package of incentives that we have put together. The big debate that informed the finance bill that is now the Finance Act, among the packages in that bill was a whole incentive package around e-mobility. We removed taxes on components that would help us put together motor vehicles that use electricity. We also removed taxes on charging infrastructure. We also removed taxes on batteries and all components for purposes of e-mobility. This is among the package that we put in our finance bill, and I am very proud that the Parliament of Kenya passed it, and we are now rolling out the benefits of that bill. Let me say this. Because of the package we have put in place, the motor vehicle you see here, it's variable. Today in Kenya costs 200, the motorcycle here, today in Kenya, it costs anywhere between 275 and 300,000. But because of the actions we have undertaken, this motor vehicle is now going to sell, this motorcycle now is going to sell not for 270,000, but for 160,000.